What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. You may notice that things are a little different tonight. Obviously, the camera resolution is a little different. Had a last-minute technical malfunction. Had to scramble to grab another PC and get everything up and running. So I apologize for that. Let me go and give a shout out to all of my people in the stream. ECC, how you doing, buddy? RJ all day. Iceberg plays. Clemson Savage. Jason S, what's going on, my man? We'll get a few more. Savage Dog. There we go. Lots to talk about tonight. Keith Carr is in the stream. Usually he likes to join the show, so we'll probably hear from him in just a little bit. But yeah, major, nearly catastrophic, mostly catastrophic problem tonight. So apologize for the quality, but we'll get through it. What's going on, Jason? Oh boy. I don't even know where to begin. Obviously, breaking news that Trevor Lawrence has COVID-19. I don't know if he's asymptomatic. I don't know what's going on with that. But clearly, we don't want to see anybody have to deal with that. But prayers to his family. I'm trying to find the article now. I wish you a speedy recovery, sir. I don't know what this means for the team. Most likely what it means is Trevor Lawrence will be out for at least this Saturday for sure, because he has to have three confirmed negative tests to be able to play. I'm hoping that it is just a false positive. He'll be able to play the week after that when they play Notre Dame. But if he's not, it will be 14 days he is out, so he will miss this Saturday, the following Saturday, and then probably the game after that, if my math serves me correctly. Probably doesn't, but, what are you going to do? So, no, he'll make the third one. The third one he'll make. I don't know what I'm thinking. 14 days is 2 weeks. Good Lord. Can't count. Savage Dog asks, what are my thoughts on starting Stetson? Sir, we have small children in the room. I'm not allowed to speak that way. Can you guys hear me okay? Is the mic clear enough? And this is I didn't have time to load the drivers for the camera. I barely had enough time to load the drivers for the microphone. Oh man. Crimson Brave, trolling as usual. Oh man, just so much to go over. The Big Ten cancels this first game. Good night. What are we going to do with that? And they start their punter. He's a great QB. He may be. According to the Big Ten 7 days ago, canceled games will be listed as no contest, whatever that means. We're going to give what's his name? Vernon Speak Sports said he was going to jump on. He asked me if I was going to do a stream. I told him yes earlier in the week. He said he was going to jump on, but he's a busy guy. He may not be able to make it, but it has been a long day. It started this morning at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. The area that I live in, we got winds in excess of 100 miles an hour, 102 to be exact. Trees down all over the place. The power went out about 6:30. I guess it come back on probably around 1 o'clock or so. Still loads of people in our area that don't have power. I think at one point there was almost 900,000 people in the state of Georgia that didn't have power. So we're very fortunate. We're very blessed. We had no problems. We weathered the storm very well. So happy to happy to be able to report that. What's going on, Tiger Raven? RJ all day. Chris at Clemson. John Gibson, how you doing, sir? I think I missed somebody. Was it Samuel Pate? Yes, sir. How you doing? I think it was it Wisconsin that canceled? Like Wisconsin versus Nebraska. I think that game was canceled. I can't believe how well this old laptop's holding up. Yeah, he just tested positive, man. I mean, like that just came out. Wisconsin's Big Ten football game set for Saturday at Nebraska has been canceled because of positive COVID-19 tests among player and staff, including head coach Paul Christ. UW officials announced Wednesday. The question is that since the Big Ten has a 21-day process, does that mean that they're going to miss the next 3 games or just the next 2? This one and 2 more? Because you would think that you would just miss 2. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. Man, my eyes are itching. DJ is a beast. He will be okay. Okay. We'll see what happens. Notre Dame's been looking pretty good, but it is possible that may be a serious, serious problem for them. Every time I look up at the monitor here and I see how this camera looks, it's so bad. I almost look like a cartoon character. It's hilarious. Let's see if we can. All right. Let me see if I can get the party started. There we go. No, wrong one. There we go. Hit that one. There we go. Oh, man. What is going on, everybody? Lots to talk about tonight. Don't want to have an overly long show because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be a wuss. Got up super early this morning, been going all day, and I'm kind of tired. So, but we'll get into it. What's going on, Junkyard Dog? I don't see any members in here right now. I'm not sure if we have members in here, and I'm not seeing them. Their name's not lit up properly because this is on a different laptop or what. But if you guys are in here, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. If you're not a member, you can be a member. There's a members button down below, right over there. There. If you guys want to join, feel free. You don't have to, but it's there if you want to. Chiquita Jacobs, how you doing? Tiger Raven, hello. 7-6 Panthers over Falcons. That's embarrassing. That's just embarrassing. That team is so terrible right now, man. Like I really want to be a Falcons fan. But, man, they don't even get close to making it worth my time. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. So, anyway, good night. I was hoping that what is this? Cancel that. I was hoping that Vernon Speak Sports was going to be able to jump on because I was going to ask him some questions about these Auburn games and some of this officiating. But I guess I'll just have to wade through that. And what up, Carl? What in the world is going on with the officiating this year? I mean, I know fans talk about it every year. People talk about how bad the officiating is this year, but this is absolutely ridiculous. We've had I don't know how many games where it's really kind of been decided at the last moment by terrible calls that were clearly not even looked at. It was just decided. Somebody on the field decided, now we're just going to give the game to Auburn. And after seeing this, man, I'm so incredibly aggravated. Guys, yeah, I mean, it's not like it used to be where you only had referees on the field. You've got probably 6 or 7 guys on the field. Granted, not everybody's going to be able to see everything, but you still got guys in booth that their job is to watch everything. And I understand you're not going to catch everything, but there's so many things that can be called down from the booth. And they can take all the time they want. Hey, there's one of my members. What's going on, Michael Porter, buddy? Thanks so much for being here, man. What's up? What's going on between the trenches? There's so many things that they have gotten not just wrong, right? For instance, I mean, everybody's going to talk about the Auburn stuff, but there's been other games where really terrible play calling is not play calling, terrible refereeing has happened. And it is much worse than regular years. Me watching games that I have no dog in the fight, and I'm like, man, if I was a fan of that team, I would be furious. And I'm going to go ahead and say something else here. Since we've got so many people, across football nation that want to talk about let me put it this way. If your team loses and you jump down in the comment section because there was legitimately bad calls by the referee, I think you are 100% inclined to do that. And I think it is absolutely pathetic. Hey, thanks for joining and being a new member there, John Gibson. I really appreciate it, sir. I think it's absolutely pathetic that you have fans of other teams that will jump in a comment section and tell you that you're pathetic, that you're being a crybaby because you pointed it out. Now, I'm sorry, but at some point, you have to acknowledge and accept that there is something wrong with just turning a blind eye to the officiating being as bad as it is. It's a freaking problem. If you don't believe me, go ask Arkansas. Go ask some of these other teams. Even Alabama team fans will tell you that there were terrible calls that have been just all over the field. Keith is right. Officiating has been suspect across all sports this year. Even in Major League Baseball has been bad. I agree. In fairness, the refs didn't get spring practice due to you know what? Just for that, trenches. Hold on. I got it. Hold on. Where's that? I'm gonna put that one up on the screen. I love that. In all fairness, the refs didn't get spring practice due to the Rona. Oh, that's hilarious. So the way that I look at it is, hey, look, if your team's getting the heck beat out of them and you get a bad call, so what? Your team still got that crap beat out of them. That one or two flags here that was going to extend a drive or whatever doesn't guarantee points. If it had been the end of the game and you just said, hey, there was 1 second left on the clock or there wasn't a second left on the clock and a game-winning field goal decides the game, I can see people being really upset about that, and rightfully so, especially if there's grounds there, like where the play didn't even get reviewed. Especially if there's plays where you can clearly see somebody's finger do this. Hold on, like that. You can see that on a screen this big. The screen I have in front of me is a 40-inch monitor. And if you know that those guys got on headsets, super slow-mo, all this other stuff, and they can't see that, you can't tell me that is beyond bad. That is somebody making a decision to hose somebody up. And, oh, by the way, since I am on the tear, the NCAA fining Lane Kiffin for speaking his mind about that, a $25,000 unsportsmanlike conduct. I would have paid him $50 and said, wait till I see what I post next. Because in my opinion, thank you, P. Doctor, I'm doing well, sir. I hope you are too. If you're the NCAA and you have to come out, or you're the SEC office or whomever, and you have to come out and you have to say, hey, By the way, yeah, we screwed up. We totally screwed up on this. What's going on, Dennis Wilson? Hey, buddy. But it is what it is. Which is basically what they told Arkansas. Yeah, they shouldn't have blew. It was a backwards pass. It was not immediately recovered. Yeah, y'all screwed that up. You screwed it up bad. Not that Arkansas is going to win a natty. I understand. But at the end of the day, you can't come out and admit that there was a problem with the officiating and then it turn around and happen again 1 or 2 games later and then get mad at a coach because he's calling it out. And don't hand me that whole he needs to show some class. At some point you have to you stop showing class and you actually call it for what it is, which is ruining a game, ruining a sport. You're costing people sweat. And what I mean by that is these kids go out there and work their tails off with the expectation that the game is going to be fair. That's what the expectation is. The PI flag on Stokes in the Bama game was a joke. Georgia wasn't winning that game anyway, man. Georgia was not winning that game. I completely agree that the pass interference was a terrible call, and there was terrible calls both sides of the ball. I could see it both ways. But if that game would have been razor thin down to the wire, I'd have been like, yeah. Hey, what's up, bearded dog? I'd have been like, yeah, that cost us a game. I'd be furious. But Georgia got beat. I mean, you can't throw 3 interceptions and sit there and talk about the referees cost you the game. It doesn't work that way. Arkansas might have cost them a bowl bid, which is millions to the university. That's the real problem. That's true between the trenches. That is possible. However, I will go ahead and tell you that Arkansas probably had no expectations of going to a bowl game to begin with. They got their icing on the cake, but they're trying to rebuild that program. And I think that every one of those recruits that they pull in there, they can show them that team is absolutely on the way up. But again, I think it was classless, tasteless, pathetic, pitiful, sorry, slack, and any other word you want to attach to it for what the NCAA did to Lane Kiffin or SEC office, whichever one it was, whoever did it. That's bogus. What should have happened? If you want that guy to have some class, you should have come out and had some class and be like, man, we are screwing this up real bad. We're going to have a conference this week on Monday with all of these referees. And by the way, I understand that people say, these guys are part-time or whatever. First of all, if you can't do the job right, move away and move out of the limelight and let somebody else who can, because you're screwing up, man. And it's not like you're not just hurting 2 football teams and some coaching staff. You're hurting fans. You're hurting students, because people get emotionally invested in this stuff, man. I mean, it ain't just, hey, bad call. This ain't T-ball, man. This is almost $1 billion industry if my math is correct. You're gonna sit there, you can't get the most simple aspects of the game correct. You'd be a yard deep in the end zone, but that's not a touchdown. You got 37 cameras. You got 10 people in a booth viewing it from across the country. You got high-def super slow-mo that you can watch the sweat roll off of a gnat's behind, and you can't see this man's a yard deep in the end zone. Are you kidding me? At some point, you got to stop asking yourself, you gotta put it on the table, and you got to say, is this incompetence or is this intentional? Because it's one or the other. And at some point, when you get so far past incompetence, you're like, there ain't no way a reasonable human being with any eyesight would call that what they called it. It's just ridiculous. What's going on, Steve? I don't know, man. The whole officiating thing has got me just burned up, and it's going to continue to burn me up. And again, it's not just Georgia that's seeing it. It's not just Alabama that's seeing it. It's Arkansas. I mean, realistically, right now, Auburn could be 1-4 or 1-3 or whatever it is at 1 win, because the first game, the second game, I mean, just not that I hate Auburn that much, but I want it to be fair. I've always wanted it to be fair. I don't want to see us come out there or anybody else go out there and lose a game to the refs. And you can jump up and down and say all that you want to about how referees, you should never leave it in the hands of the referees. Sometimes you can't help it. You got two elite teams going up against one another or two just equally moderate teams. You can't say in the you can't say what a lot of these younger kids say to troll people. You need to get good. That doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say, oh, get good. If they could get good, they'd be there. So stupid. Somebody was asking me, either way we play Boston College this weekend, so I doubt they miss much. He'll be cleared for Notre Dame. He might be. He might not be. You keep that in mind. Like, he may continue to test positive. If he continues to test positive, then he might not be able to play. There's no guarantees that he's going to just get over it immediately. I mean, that works for most people, but there's no guarantees. What's the realistic odds that we see a different quarterback this week? Knowing Kirby Smart, probably 0. Georgia, the O is still to be seen. It's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I'll be in Gatlinburg for the Florida game, and I can't wait. Never been there. Never been to Gatlinburg? Hey, what's up, Ballard? I heard you could test positive for up to 3 months. To be honest with you, I mean, these tests, some of these tests are so sensitive that people test positive that don't even have it. So, I mean, yeah, you could absolutely test positive and not have it. You could test positive and have it and then get over it and test positive saying that you still have it, and that be a false positive, and you're still forced to go through the 3-day, the 3 negative tests within 24 hours apart before you can be cleared. So it is possible that he could miss the Notre Dame game. I hope that he's asymptomatic, and I hope he doesn't get sick. I hope he doesn't get anybody else sick. I hope he's okay. And I hope he gets over and he gets back to the game. But at the end of the day, it is possible that he could be ruled out. Now, I don't suspect that's going to be the case, but it's certainly possible. Oh, you know what? I'm a bonehead, guys. I am sorry. I've been sitting here running my mouth wondering why nobody was jumping in the stream. And here's why. Because I hadn't put up the link yet. Told y'all I was tired. Hope he's a Falcon next year. He'll more than likely end up at the Jets, man. The Jets are just... But the Falcons keep playing like they're playing. They may get it. What did Stetson Bennett and Garantado order at the bakery? Turnovers. Hey, who was the first person this year to get Mac Jones to throw an interception? Yes, it is 11, or it's 9:15 at night, and I'm still drinking coffee. I will finish drinking my coffee, go drink another cup, and then I will go to bed and sleep like a baby. If you guys want to join the show, feel free. Hit the button there. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Really appreciate you guys. Between the trenches, I'm sure there was more to that statement than dogs. Oh, man. Texas A&M. Oh, you want to talk about that weird stuff? Yeah. Who do y'all see you guys struggling with this year, Crimson Brave? Hey, bringing in Kirby will get a 2-touchdown lead and then put Mathis in to hand the ball off. God, I hope not. Bringing in the master of disaster. Wow. What's going on, Mr. Carr?
What's going on, man? Y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. Looking good, man. Now that I've got somebody else in here, I can back the camera up. It works a lot better. And this was terrible. Like, I was telling you. Remember, I was telling you earlier today about how I was having laptop issues. Yeah. I get home. I was like, I come downstairs like 30 minutes before 8:00, and I went to fire up the laptop, and it's like, nope. I'm like, what do you mean, nope? I'm like, nope. So I started doing everything I could to try and get it up and running. Nope. Ended up having to grab my other laptop, get it set up, start hooking up gear. Had to download drivers because I didn't have any drivers for all my gear. And then by the time I get all the gear and everything loaded up and the camera loaded up, it was like I looked down and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's been doing this for like an hour now. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Computer problems never fun.
Hey, Ballard wants to jump in. Let's see what he's got.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Ballard?
What's going on, bud?
Hey, your mic actually
Not
sounds
much, man.
good.
Yeah.
I got to change. Are you guys getting an echo from me? Or are you good?
We're good. I'm
Okay,
good, at
good.
least.
Okay. All right. So, what's on your mind there, Ballard?
Not much, man. Just first off, it's pretty cool that we got a Big Ten football finally back. Although when you look at like what happened with teams like Penn State, it's not what you expected.
What do you mean?
But like Penn State lost against Indiana. I think a lot of people are pretty high on them this year, and for a team like Penn State, you would want to win the opener.
Yeah. Between the Trenches wants to join in. We got a regular block party.
And that Penn State game was legendary, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, for that game to end on, it was a great game, and then for it to end on such a photo finish, beautiful shot that was crazy. That was great.
Yeah.
So since we got everybody on the stream here, I want to go ahead and point out to you guys that Between the Trenches is my illegitimate brother. I mean, the Penn State game, there were so many people that jumped in the comment sections like, that ball was clearly out of bounds. I'm like, all right, first of all, let me explain how physics work. Okay, you're not looking at it straight down the line. You're looking at it at an angle. If you're looking at it straight down the line, then you would see that ball clearly had to have crossed the plane before it touched the grass. The ball was, yes, out of bounds, but in the air, which means it's not out of bounds until it touches the ground. So if you're in the air and you're out of bounds and you touch the pylon, guess what? That's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
because it ain't hit the ground yet.
Yeah, and it didn't even hit the ground yet, which was he clearly broke.
Yeah, that was one of those plays that was going to stand with whatever they called it on the field. And luckily, they called that a touchdown. I mean, I don't have any dog in the hunt, but man, the way Penix took over that game by halfway through the fourth quarter, Indiana's quarterback, I mean, to have that game end with him making such a great play and for them to give that to him was incredible. I'm glad they called it a touchdown on the field. Yeah.
I think if you're Penn State right now, obviously you want to win out. I think they still got a chance to make the playoffs if they beat like Michigan and Ohio State and all these other teams. But man, you want Indiana kind of to run the table a little bit and you're hoping Indiana's not a bad team this year, so that way the loss doesn't look as bad. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think Penn State's going to beat Alabama. I don't think Penn State's going to beat. I don't think Penn State's going to beat a Georgia. I just don't. I think they would probably struggle with OSU. But
yeah,
that's my opinion. So to me, seeing Penn State go out there and just get, I won't say embarrassed, but I'll say kind of put on notice.
Yeah.
Like, look, you come out here, you better finish your game because these other cats are going to play. And to me,
four-quarter game.
Yeah.
Plus overtime.
That game notes on that, man.
That game just reminded me of like an old school like Cam Newton, Tebow, that Indiana quarterback just decided, hey, I'm going to win this game. Just jump on my back, boys. And he he drove down the field, scored the touchdown. They got the 2-point conversion, drove down, dove in the end zone. I mean, he did. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he ran the touchdown and the 2-point conversion in himself to tie the game to carry it to overtime. So, I mean, that was – I mean, he just took over, and it's awesome to see that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Now, we can either look at it like Penn State's defense didn't have a great game or whatever. I don't know. I saw highlights and everything, I was pretty impressed with the quarterback for Indiana, that Penix guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he can move the ball, and you know.
So, what did you think of Penn State's quarterback? I guess between the trenches jumped off. Maybe he just wanted to floss on me with that wall, man, because it was nice. Oh, he came back. Hey, you just flossing on everybody with that jersey, man.
Which one?
The Jordan jersey, man. How many jerseys you got?
Well, I got the Chubb over here. Got Jordan over here, and then all the rest of them are in the closet. Yeah, man. I like talked like 3 times, nothing happened, and then finally it just booted me off for some reason. I think it's my internet.
Yeah, you gotta get a pen and write my address down. I need you to send me some stuff. You clearly got too much.
I'll tell you what, man. I might have one thing you might want that I might be getting rid of soon. I got the 1980s Bulldog bear.
Oh wow,
that's pretty cool, man.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what was the name of that quarterback on for Indiana? What was his name again?
That's Penix or something like that.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His last name was like Penix or something like that. It was like Penix or something.
Oh yeah, Michael Penix.
Yeah,
Jr.?
it's number 9. Yeah. Oh, he's from Tampa. That's pretty cool.
He's 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that out.
That must be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were just asking about what I thought about Sean Clifford and all that. I mean, I like him. I think he's a good athlete. Obviously, you're going to have a bad game, and I mean, he had 2 interceptions in the game. He had 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, that's not bad, but I think for Sean Clifford, who wanted to come back and, try to prove something, be better, and, I think he's a great quarterback, but obviously, he just had one of those bad games, so we'll see what it looks like going forward, I guess.
You talking about Sean Clifford?
Yeah, for Penn State.
Yeah, he's 6'2".
Okay, there's what is that? I think Drew Brees is a short guy. He did pretty well for himself.
I hope you're not comparing Stetson to Drew Brees.
No, I'm not at all.
Okay.
I'm just making an argument for short guys, man.
No, I get it. Trust me, Russell Wilson's the same, but Stetson's got they can throw it over 40 yards. That's the issue.
Exactly.
Drew Brees, 6 foot. I mean, Drew Brees is not a midget.
No, but he's usually considered the short guy. But I mean, Stetson. I mean, that game, like I said, that game was won by the coaching, in my opinion. I mean, Saban seeing that, coming up with a game plan, realizing that Georgia was torching everybody over the middle with a quarterback that's 5'11", and I mean,
but when is Kirby going to learn and start doing what Saban does? And it's not working. Let's try someone else.
Yeah, that's the same thing we talked about today at lunch. Why not? Why didn't he realize that? And let's start designing some get Stetson out of the pocket. Get him out of the pocket. I mean, that's the answer to that.
Get him out of the game.
Yeah, that would have helped too.
It worked for Alabama twice. I wouldn't have said. I'm not saying it would work for us, but what do you have to lose at that point?
Yep.
You're right.
Well, that game wasn't out of hand until it was out of hand. All right, when he threw that touchdown, they went down and scored. It was like boom. We went from in the game to out of the game right there, and it was just backbreaking.
What's going on, Brett?
You guys see?
What's going on, M-Lays? What's going on, Dan Mendoza? Michael Porter. I don't think Kentucky's defense is for real just because it's never been. I think that they got it okay, but I think they're going to break down. I don't think they have depth. I think Georgia will impose its will. But what I would like to see is I would like to see Georgia go out there and let the offensive coordinator be the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of blame Chaney, blame Coley, not blame Monken. Listen, you ain't gonna be able to blame this one on Monken because Monken's gonna be like, hey.
Well, we all know what Saturday is. So I mean, if Georgia can come out with an offensive costume, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with UGA fans, myself included, we're really saying about the offense when we play Alabama or a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then next week we'll go out there and we'll blow out a cupcake. Oh, 55-7. Oh, the offense is fixed. Wrong.
You ain't playing
55-7 with 10 passes.
Well, think about this.
Right.
I mean, when's the last time that Georgia has had a great quarterback?
Matt Stafford.
Aaron Murray.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, I mean, there haven't been any under Kirby. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't really there hasn't been, I don't know, there's been effort to go get them, but they haven't been an effort to make them great in the game. You know what I mean? I mean, we went out and got Justin Fields, and we all know how that worked out. And
I
then,
still think Kirby's pretty stupid for that whole thing too.
I'm
beginning to,
yeah. I mean, I'm beginning to think that Kirby is. I'm starting to question a lot of things that he does. I mean, you know, that game. I mean, he's made some decisions in games that can sway a win or a loss. You know.
Well, I mean, you saw the interview when they did his after practice interview, and they flat out told him, "Hey, Saban doesn't think a great defense can beat a great offense anymore."
Mm-hmm.
And he still won't buy into that, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's just stubbornness.
Yeah, that time is.
I'm not saying fire Kirby because he's the best recruiter in the nation.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree,
but he's got to let the offense do its thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's my opinion. And I had this conversation with Keith earlier today. I think that in the age of football that we're in, it's like filling up a cup. Your defense is your cup, right? And your defense can hold so much.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, once that defense holds all it can hold, then everything else just pours out of the top and it just becomes a big problem. And that's what I think our defense is. Our defense is a big cup and it can hold a lot. But once it crosses that threshold, it can't hold anything. Like it's just all over the place.
Well,
and that's what you see when you play in Alabama or you play a high-powered offense.
Well, if you remember, we made the statement multiple times that Georgia needed to hold Alabama to less than 30 points.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or around 30 points. You take the turnovers away, we did that.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, the defense did its thing. I mean, it doesn't look like it because they scored 40 points. But, I mean, you think we got a turnover at the beginning of the game, then we turned it right back over to them and gave them 7 points right off the rip.
Well, not only that, when we got that turnover, we were in field goal range.
Yeah, I mean, so it's you know, I still think, you know, I still like a great defense. I don't think a great defense beats a great offense. And that's why I think, you know, that's why I think Kirby needs to – we've put weapons. We've always had weapons on offense at Georgia. But we've never had the combination of – we never had the synergy. You know, we got a great receiver, but we don't have a great quarterback. We got a great quarterback, but, you know, we have good running backs where the great quarterback just hands to the great running backs. You know, it's like you don't have, you know, we got a Pickens, we got Burton, but we don't have anybody to get the ball to.
The problem, I think, is that the offense has had, like, you know, you have all the weapons. Like, even around Jake Fromm, he had all the great weapons and everything. But, like, the main problem with Fromm was his decision-making and I think the lack of leadership for the offense has been the big problem.
Yeah,
Just no leadership.
Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate you letting me get on for a few minutes. I got to hop off here, but
all right,
you take it easy, sir, and you guys have a good one.
You too, bro.
Yeah.
It's just,
so one of the things that I think is a big problem for Georgia is that Georgia's quarterback situation on a whole is screwed up. Like there's no rhythm to it, right? And that kind of started with the whole Fromm Fields thing, Jacob Eason and Fromm, however you want to say it. All of that kind of got sideways. So you end up looking at a situation where you have to try and figure out what in the world is going on. And I think, because Kirby Smart has said this, he hates turnovers. He wants to go with the quarterback that's going to make the best decisions. And by nature, the very nature of just being inexperienced is going to prevent that from happening. But, it's going to prevent putting in like a brand new rookie. Look at what happened. He had DeJuan Mathis, who was essentially a rookie, put him in the field. The guy made a couple of mistakes. They snatch him out, and they go in with the old reliable. And then they stuck with old reliable until they got bent over in the Alabama game. So now what needs to happen is JT Daniels needs to step up He needs to be given an opportunity. He needs to go out there and take the game away from Stetson Bennett and run the damn show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to be highly disappointed unless some news is broken that I'm not aware of. I'm going to be highly disappointed if we don't see JT Daniels this Saturday. Not as a starter, but something. He needs to get some snaps with a Bulldog uniform on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even care if the game's put away. I'm just saying, like, a change of pace or something. If the game's close, let's go to him. If the game's put away, let's go to him. Let's give him an opportunity to get out there and play, because I'm telling you, we don't beat Alabama if we make it to the SEC championship, but we don't beat Alabama with Stetson behind the center.
Right.
You know, not without a coaching overhaul of our game plan going in offensively, because what we tried to do did not work.
Well, here's what happened in my opinion. Yes, we got out coached, but I also don't feel like either Todd Monken or Kirby Smart didn't allow Todd Monken come to the table with a second half plan. It just didn't exist. Now we know second half plans can be made to happen because we did it in the Arkansas game. So why was that not happening? Me and you kind of had this conversation earlier. If you have hey, what's going on, Royce?
Hey, Royce, what's up, man?
If you have a team in place where you see that your quarterback is no longer playing football, that he's playing volleyball because he's getting all of his passes spiked back at him, you may want to change it to having rollouts to one side or the other. Or, what was that play that we used to see all the time with DeAndre Swift and Brian Herrien and Nick Chubb and Todd Gurley? Oh, yeah, I remember. It was have a tailback to your left side, snap the ball, have him run out about 6 or 7 yards and catch the ball, have your receiver and your X slot or your tight end pick up the two blockers and go upfield for a bunch of damn yards. Where's that play been? We used to run that play 7 or 8 times a drive. Haven't seen it. I've seen a jet toss sweep twice. Both times.
That's it.
Well, when you run the ball up the middle and then try to throw over the middle, you really put yourself. I mean, you kind of back yourself in a corner, right? I mean, it's a lot easier to pack the middle, get hands up when that's what your play is. You know what I'm saying? If they could start, if we could have screen passed out to the flat, get some wide receiver screens, you know, get Stetson out of the pocket, throwing downfield, some misdirection, some reverses, like a bootleg out, reverse it. I mean, anything to get Alabama out of the middle of the field.
Hold on.
You know, I mean,
I gotta add somebody to the stream who is in more misery than we are.
Gotta be a Vols fan, right?
Oh, crap. So,
More misery than little pound puppies, huh?
So what's y'all's record this year so far?
2-1.
What's that like?
It's not bad. Still a chance.
No. No. Is Grantham still on my team staff? Yes, I think he is. No chance. No.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Didn't Todd Grantham used to coach at Georgia at some point?
Yeah, I think there was a reason you fired his ass. Probably the same reason I want his ass fired too. Good for about 2 years, and then he fucks up.
Well, the fire Grantham thing. Really, what happened was that somebody said they needed to get rid of that dumpster fire. And they were talking about Todd Grantham, and somebody took it serious. They took it literal. That's why y'all ended up with that fire down there in the swamp.
Yeah. Gee, I haven't heard that. Silly troll in about a month.
That's true, but you haven't heard it from me, so I'm just, I got to get mine.
Well, Brett, I figure you're running about a month behind. So in about a month from now, you're going to start in with we're dodging LSU, and we're gonna cancel another game to continue dodging LSU. Idiotic troll that I keep hearing all the time.
No, I don't think you guys
all due respect, I don't think you guys should dodge LSU. I think you'll be fine.
Why would we dodge LSU? Even last year when they were really, really good, We hung with them for a good long while.
Yeah.
Well,
until our defense wore out because we couldn't run the damn ball.
I don't think you guys
actually had a defense last year.
I don't think anybody should rip on you guys for dodging LSU. I don't think they should accuse you of trying to dodge LSU.
We had COVID.
I think you should dodge LSU.
Why?
Because it's like beating up an old woman. If you win that fight, you didn't really win anything. But if you lose that fight, you really lose a lot.
I don't think we're going to lose. Well, before the season started, I didn't think we were going to lose to LSU. Now that
I didn't either.
Games, and we have half a team, no game is guaranteed in the remainder of this schedule, and that includes Vandy, that includes Arkansas, that includes the Zoo.
Yeah, man, I know exactly how you feel, bro.
I was going to say, I think Zoo might be a problem for you guys.
Oh, Zoo's going to be a big problem because, okay, let's put it this way. We have no defense. So Zoo is going to score every time they get the ball. That's a given because we have no defense. So here's what's going to happen on Saturday. We get the ball, we score. They get the ball, they score. We get the ball, they score. We score,
so
they
a shootout.
Score. Then we get stopped one time.
No,
and they score, and then they score again. And then
you guys won't get stopped. You guys will accidentally stop yourselves.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, it will be a shootout. It will probably be a shootout for like 2.5 to 3 quarters, and then Florida's going to shoot themselves.
And then we'll shoot ourselves.
You know what? This is funny. This is funny because this sounds exactly like Georgia fan under Martin Rick, right? I remember being think about this, ranked in the top 5 preseason, go out, lose to South Carolina, and then wonder if you're going to win another game. I mean, is that not? I mean, this is exactly how it felt.
Georgia ain't exactly sitting pretty with a midget for a quarterback. You know,
no, you're right.
But your problems aren't as big as.
But Georgia, I will say under Kirby, contrary to what I felt under Rick, I do feel like we win the games that we should win. I did not feel that way under Kirby. I felt exactly the way you felt. I felt like we would always be ranked high going into a season because we would finish strong. Then we'd come into the season, we'd lose one game, and then after that, you're just not sure what's going to happen the rest of the season. And it's a good thing too, because then you'll have a game again. You might still win out, but you'll have the Vandy game where you beat them by a field goal. It's like what the hell, That's exactly how I felt under Rick, and every week was just like.
But I am always of two minds, and I understand. I mean, I have my own problems with the glitter gators, not that putz that runs around here, but actual glitter gators. Lou has the Disney dogs. He has the same
terminology of glitter gator because for Georgia we call them Disney dogs. Yeah. There's something about calling a Florida fan a glitter gator.
Well, it's all glitter and it's all sparkly, good vibes and glittering rainbows and unicorn farts and all that. It's the same thing as the Disney dogs. You got the same type of fans. I have always been of the belief. I don't care if my team wins by 1 point or 10 points or 100 points. Yes. They won.
Yeah.
Then we can go into the analysis, which is obvious. I got the same problem. I belong to a group on Facebook called Gator Nation.
Right.
I post in there realistic criticisms of what's going on with the Gators, and I got a lot of people agree with me, and I got a lot of people that will just savage my ass and try and get me blocked. One problem, boys and girls, it's a public forum. You can't kick me out.
So I gotta jump on this one right here. Big Vol Daddy says, Celine, careful throwing those PC words around UGA fans like you did a moment ago. I'm referring to the word quarterback, not midget.
You're right. I might hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody's little
Boo-hoo.
feelings.
Hey, wait a minute. I got a good joke. I got a good joke for you guys. You know why you can't hurt a Tennessee fan's feelings, right?
Oh crap!
They don't have any teeth anyway.
What was the what?
You can't hurt their feelings. They don't have any teeth anyway.
Oh, fillings. Yeah. I see what you did there. Very good. Very good.
Hey, I got three kids and one on the way. I can tell dad jokes if I want to. I got my card.
My kids done be growed.
Yeah, man.
Now I got a whole new set of problems. Now I have to deal with them as adults trying to figure shit out instead of kids trying to figure shit out.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for you. Who do you guys play this weekend, Celine?
The Zoo.
Are you guys playing them in
Good
Florida
luck.
or in Columbia?
No, it's in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're favored by 12.
Oh,
No, it's either 12 or 14. I can't remember which.
is that before or after Granthams check cleared from Mizzou?
You know, I said this on several videos I've made. I've said this on several streams I've been in. I've said this on several streams that I made.
Fire Grantham.
Well, that too, but I know the season ended on October 10th, which was the day we lost to A&M.
Right.
And it became obvious after 3 games and giving up a ton of points that we have no defense. We will not have a defense. Our season is over. It's done. Georgia wins the East. It's a given. Unless Georgia literally falls apart and half its team breaks limbs, Florida's not winning the East. So all the troll jobs, all the we're dodging LSUs, all the keep Granthams, all the Mullen jokes, all the Megan Mullen jokes. You know what it is? It's the voice you hear in the Peanuts cartoons when the teacher is talking. Wah, 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 wah. I hear none of it. None of it matters. We all know what happens in November. Georgia and Alabama are going to play in the SEC championship, and you're going to get beat again.
Hold on, I want to see what Sarah has to say here. Sarah's always on the stream. She frequents everybody's stream. She's so loyal. So she asked, she's like, I have one that pokes fun at Bama. Do you guys know how to go on a stampede?
What?
I have no idea.
Gosh.
I know what a stampede means around here where I live now, and that means heading down to Siesta Village and blasting through all the nightclubs. But they call that a stampede. But
you guys know how? Yeah, see there. This is how the whole Big Al and elephant thing started. Was Coach Wallace Wade back in like the 30s or 40s, whenever, made a statement before a game and said, "Hold your horses, men. The elephants are coming." Now, I don't know why he said the elephants, but he said that quote and it just kind of stuck, and that's how Big Al and all that started.
Well,
the stampede of elephants.
Does anybody ever wonder, besides me, how a team can be called the Crimson Tide and have an elephant as a mascot?
That's
don't stand
great
behind
too.
them at a particular time of the month, and you'll figure it out.
I had a wife and 2 daughters. I already know what that is. Thank you.
Oh my God!
I was surrounded. I was drowning in a pool of estrogen in my 30s and 40s. Don't talk to me about that time of the month, my friend. I'm
well. I was gonna ask you. Anytime
you man enough to walk in and buy a box of tampons?
No, I do that for my daughter. She needs. It's not a big deal. I bet you hid under a hoodie. No, not at all. They ain't for me. I don't care. When I walk up there and buy those at the counter, that woman knows I ain't buying them for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
now I'm wearing my hat backwards like you guys.
There you go. You getting it started. You getting it figured out.
See what it says?
Anytime an Alabama fan says anything about the Georgia mascot, you call him an ugly dog, a fat dog, any of this other stuff.
I didn't say nothing, man.
No. I'm just saying. But there are Bama fans that and almost every fan base does. It's like, man, that's an ugly dog. You hear that all the time. I tell them, I was like, that may be true, but Georgia has never had to rent their mascot.
Now, personally, I love British bulldogs. Bulldogs in general. I love bulldogs. I think they're a great dog. I love pugs, Boston Terriers, bulldogs, French bulldogs. Love all those flat-nosed dogs. 51 weeks out of the year. But I would own a bulldog. They're fun. They're great.
Didn't Georgia
great sedentary dogs?
Yeah, they are.
Hold on. Didn't Georgia, if I recall,
there goes my camera.
They used to have a goat as a mascot, didn't they?
Georgia's very first mascot was a goat that somebody brought to the game, and they nicknamed him Old Man. It was just this guy. Games they brought it, he just kept bringing his goat. So I don't know why that happened, but for the Tennessee fans, when they start picking on UGA's dog, I just ask them how many of theirs got hit by cars.
Oh.
Did you know that they've had like 3 of their mascots that have escaped and been hit by cars?
Holy crap.
No, I did not know that.
That is a for real fact.
Did you know
Volunteers?
Did you know we used to have an actual alligator on the field?
I did know that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. They stopped that after a while.
Reminds me of the old Colorado when they used to run the buffalo out there. Remember that?
Yeah, that was
awesome. Oh, that was great.
That was awesome. I used to love that.
That was awesome. Yep.
I always like seeing when Texas brings that, the bowl out, all the live mascots like that. And was it last year? You remember the Boomer Sooner wagon?
Does it tip over or whatever? Was that last year?
Yeah. That happened a couple of times. Yeah. And they finally wrecked the damn thing.
Well, they come out there like a bat out of hell and everything.
I said, if you're gonna run a wagon that fast and make that sharp a turn, maybe you have a better suspension setup.
Yeah.
This ain't. I mean, it handles like an old Camaro, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Alabama did have elephants. They did have live elephants before, I promise you, because they rented them from local traveling circuses. I kid you not.
Wow.
They sure did. But
I'll have to look into that.
I love. Look at DVD trying to type out a Yiddish word. I'm proud of you, boy. Very good, very good.
Isn't Yom Kippur a Yiddish word?
Yom Kippur is a holiday.
There you go.
That's the holiest of holidays in Judaism.
But that is a Yiddish word, right?
Well, Hebrew. Hebrew and Yiddish are 2 different languages.
God bless you for learning it. The closest I ever got to anything like that was we had a guy whenever I was going through basic training, and we had one Jewish guy in our platoon. And on Sunday, he would go to temple, and nobody really liked this guy. And nobody would volunteer to go with him to temple because, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I grew up as a Southern Baptist. So he asked me if I would help him out and go. And I'm like, I really don't want to go, dude. I was like, it's not my jam. And he was like, they're going to give us food. All right. I'm in.
Usually good food at temple.
So I go there, and there's a lot of customs that I wasn't familiar with. And I showed up, and I'm like, hey, look, I'm not trying to be, any make you feel any one way about me or another. All I'm doing is coming so he can go, and where's the food? And we sat through a service, and like half of the service is in like Hebrew or different language, and I just sat there with just
Hebrew. Yeah, Hebrew.
Okay, I don't know what none of this means.
Well, if you know the Old Testament, your Southern Baptist is supposed to know both Old and New Testament, then you can follow along.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's easy.
Well, the language is different.
Yeah, the language is tough.
And it's read from right to left.
But then after that, man, when it was over with, like, man, the food they made, like, I was like this soup with this dumpling in it, man, it was delicious. I don't know what it was.
Matzo ball soup.
There you go.
It's chicken soup with these matzo balls, and making matzo balls is actually kind of an art form because you have them. They look like a softball, or a baseball. They look that big, and you think they're going to weigh, they're going to weigh a ton. And if they're done right, they're lighter than air. I mean, they're really good.
Well, once them ladies there at that place found out that the only reason I was coming to service was so that he could come, man, they made sure they brought plenty of food for me. Yeah. They thought I was just the coolest guy on the planet, and I was there to help. They didn't have a Jewish temple on post, so he had to go out to the local synagogue. And so we would sit in there, and it was sometimes 2 and 3 hours long. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's a long service. But if you look a certain way at you, Brett, you almost could pass for Jewish.
Yeah. My wife has said that about me several times. You cheap rascal.
But I actually dated a Southern Baptist girl once. Nice girl, but she kept trying to drag me to church, and that wasn't my thing, and I really didn't want to go. And the few times that I actually did go with her to humor her, they kept trying to convert me. I was like, no. I actually got a little miffed at one guy who just wouldn't leave me alone. I said, dude, do you get like extra points for converting a Jew? I mean, this is like extra points in heaven for you guys or something. Leave me alone, man. Come on.
I can tell you down south, you obviously have Baptist, you have Pentecostal, you have Methodist, you have Lutheran, you have all them other ones. I don't know why we were Baptist. That's just what we were raised. But I can tell you right now, I don't care what kind of church service you got going on. If there's food there, I'll come hang out.
Yeah.
One thing about Jewish people. They will eat. I guarantee if you want to find good food, go find the nearest Jewish person and follow them. They know where the good food is.
Oh, I'll tell you the crazy.
Listen to what the general tell you, boy.
What did you tell you now?
If you whenever I was stationed in Louisiana, we go out on the weekends, a bunch of Army guys, we're in the little local bars there, drinking, partying, having a good time, getting thrown out of every club that we can get in. And met a few girls here and there. And then, next weekend, instead of going to the club, they was like, well, come hang out at our house. We're going to have a, family get together. Listen, if you want somebody that's going to feed you,
Cajuns.
Hang out with some folks from the Louisiana Bayou.
Hang out with the Cajuns. They will stuff you full.
The Cajun cooking.
Man, you leave home with food and stuffed in your pockets. You didn't even know was there. You get home and find a biscuit and be like, who put this in my pocket?
And if they do it real good, your sinuses will be cleared out too.
Yeah, that's the food you got to put an apron on too, man.
Yes, sir. You got to put a neck bib on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went in the military.
My family, a long time ago, before we moved to where we are now, from Miami, we almost ended up in New Orleans. My dad almost landed a practice in New Orleans. And actually, where we would have ended up living got wiped out in Katrina, so it's kind of lucky. But I swear to God, you remember Chef Prudhomme? Remember how big he was? Mm-hmm. That's how big I would have been. Oof. I would have been so big I couldn't stand up. I would have been chess.
To turn sideways to go through the door, right?
I would. No, they have to make a special doorway for me. I will eat. I can eat. And Cajun cooking is some of my favorite stuff, man. I would have been 400 pounds. I guarantee.
So Sarah says something right here. I like what she says. She goes, I almost converted to Catholic. I finally told the priest I could talk to God just like him. I never went back.
Actually, funny thing. My mom's brother, my uncle, he converted he became Catholic to marry his second wife because she was devoutly Catholic and they really wanted to get married, but he had already been married once and she couldn't do it. It's not allowed in the Catholic Church. So he actually converted to marry her and became a deacon. The man looks like me. He's a deacon in a Catholic church.
My opinion has always been, I don't care what religion that you worship or that you don't worship any religion. That's between you and God.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
figure it out in your own due time. I can tell you about what goes on with me, but whatever happens with you, I've always thought it this way.
Pardon me.
If God wants to have a conversation with you, He'll have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't got to convert anybody.
And you can't
God
tune
wants
him
to have a
out.
conversation with me, we'll have it. Now we may have it on the side of the road after a car accident, but we don't have it. We may have it in a foxhole with bullets flying over my head, but we'll have it. Until then, it's to each his own.
I had one of those conversations during my divorce. Actually, I had a couple, but
I had one of them conversations after one night after a late Taco Bell visit.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Taco Bell is like champagne. It's great going in and it's terrible coming out.
Oh god.
So when I was about 16 or 17 years old, my mom had taken me to Long John Silver's. The Long John Silver's over by 5 Points. Remember that one, Keith?
Uh-huh.
And
In Atlanta?
apparently they didn't cook the chicken all the way.
Oh.
So later that night, when I got home, I got sick. I got really sick, and I ended up having to go to the hospital. My grandmother and my grandfather took me, and I had an IV in each arm. I was so dehydrated I couldn't walk. I was 16 years old, and I was in cross country. I could run. I was on the wrestling team. I mean, I was in the shape of my life, and I was so dehydrated and so weak that I couldn't walk. I didn't eat chicken I didn't eat chicken for like 6 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, 6 years.
I did the same thing to myself at UF when I was a sophomore. I did it with a chili that I made. I let the meat defrost on the kitchen counter, and I forgot about it, and it went to room temperature. And stupid, I used it anyway, and I ended up at Shan's for 3 days.
Oof.
I was so out of it. I don't even remember calling the ambulance that came to get me to take me to the hospital, but all of a sudden somebody was breaking my door down, and there were these guys. They loaded me up on a gurney and took me away, and the next thing I know, I'm in the ER.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to tell you that is the worst I have ever felt in my life. I mean, it really was. When people say, like cancer victims, people they say, I feel so bad. I wish I would have died. And people say, no, man, you don't mean that. I can tell you straight up and down that was the worst I've ever felt in my life. And if somebody would have came in and said, we're just going to put you down, I'd have been like, well, why aren't we talking?
Yeah. You ever had a kidney stone?
I don't want to live like this.
Oh, I've had kidney stones.
Yeah,
I've had multiples. I've had over 20.
Yeah,
you want to die.
Wow.
You hope you die.
Yeah.
You wish you wish for it.
I've never had one. Then again, I'm pretty young. I don't know if it's an age thing or not. I don't know, but I know I listen to like comedy and stuff. You know who Jeff Foxworthy is?
Oh yeah.
He did a bit talking about when he got one, and he's like, well, when you think of stone, you think smooth river rock.
No, yeah.
No, that's not what this is.
They
It's
call
like
it
a
a kidney
spiked
sand
ball.
spur. Yeah.
Yeah, a little sand spur deal.
It's not even as big as a sand spur. It's about the size. Some of the ones that I've had have been about the size, literally, of a couple of grains of sand. I mean, they're little things, but then again, they're
Like
going through a tube that's not much bigger. And the last one I had, which was, thank God, almost 5 years ago now, it may have been the one that's been sitting there and breaking off little pieces.
Yep.
And it may have been the big one. That one took 10 days to pass.
Yeah.
You have to drink like cranberry juice and stuff. You have to
actually the best two things are actually water or iced tea.
Yeah.
And not sweet tea, you southern goofball.
No, I was just going to ask you. was just to ask you, how much sweet tea do you drink?
Let's say sweet tea calls them, bro.
Say
the sweet tea causes them.
That's right. And that right there.
But I pounded water like you wouldn't believe. And
water, Flomax, and some painkillers, and there you go.
Yeah.
When it finally came out very suddenly and very ugly.
Yeah.
But I haven't had one since, and that was the morning I was supposed to take my older daughter to UF for her orientation. 2 a.m, the thing came out. Yeah. And it had been sitting in me for 10 days. And I thought I was going to have to do the whole orientation on a busted ankle and a kidney stone.
The moment that I found out that sweet tea causes kidney stone, I decided unsweet tea was the way to go.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of unsweet tea now.
Yeah, I passed my kidney stone. The last one I had, I passed it the night before that I was scheduled to have surgery to remove it.
I remember that.
They told me I wouldn't be able to pass it, and
they were telling me the same thing. They were going. They gave me a time limit from the last exam they gave me. They gave me a 2-week time limit, and I was on the 10th day. And they said, if this thing doesn't come out within a couple of weeks, we're going in after it.
Yeah.
They're going to get the claw.
That is not outpatient surgery, my friends. That is microsurgery. That is invasive infections, all kinds of fun stuff.
I always wondered why they couldn't use with the way technology has come along. I don't understand why they can't bust them up better with the ultrasonic stuff.
Yeah, they can do that.
The lithotripter.
Lithotripter.
You know where the lithotripter was invented?
I don't know.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shands Hospital. There was the first place to come up with the lithotripter. Mine, unfortunately, I wasn't a candidate for the lithotripter because of where the stone had migrated to.
Yeah. First of all, me and the doctor would have had a conversation about his belief in my candidacy. Because I'd have said, we're going to try it first.
Yeah, but it can do more harm than good.
Until somebody says yes.
Yeah, depending on where it is, it can cause other issues for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to tear up the good tissue. Because
I've seen the pain that other people go through, and I'm like, well, just turn it on low and let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through that, man.
I remember the first ones that they had to dunk you. You had to actually immerse yourself in a big old tub of water, and the lithotripter head was about the size of it was about 20 inches around, and it looked like one of those big old portable cement mixers they have on construction sites.
Are you sure you're not describing like my second girlfriend?
Well, I told her I wouldn't do that.
So you were saying that was invented in Florida, right?
I don't have one of those.
You said that was invented in Florida?
Yeah, the Shands Hospital came up with the lithotripter.
You think they could help y'all with your defense?
Huh?
You think they could help y'all with your defense?
No. The only thing that helps with the defense is this thing right here.
Grantham.
I like Saline. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's a wonderful dude, and he probably buys presents for orphans on Christmas and donates to the Salvation Army and the Red Cross, and he's a wonderful guy who obviously cleans his plate on every meal and all that. And you know what? I wish him well in his future endeavors. Get the fuck off my field. Go coach Division fucking 2.
I like him though, Celine. He's great. Him and Will Muschamp and Gus Malzahn. I want all those guys to get life contracts.
Well, I don't care if Moose Stump gets a lifetime contract or not, as long as he doesn't come back to Florida.
Oh, no. It's a package deal. He's got to come back to Florida.
No. I already said this on another stream. I think it was mine. I said if Moose Stump ever came back to Florida in any capacity, the next day I'm a UCF fan.
Oh,
wow.
And I will stick to that.
After all the love I've shown
you, can make a stinger of that if you want to. I am no longer a Florida fan if he comes back.
Come on now, you know you'd rather be an FSU fan.
No. I'd sooner quit watching college football forever.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question. If somebody told you you had to pick right now, and you either have to be an FSU fan or a South Carolina fan, or quit college football altogether, what would you do?
Quit. Cold turkey. Quit completely. I'm done. I never watch another game. If those are my three choices, I mean, come on, man.
Okay.
I could not be an FSU fan.
Let's make it a little more interesting then. Fine.
Oh, we're not going to make
you
this
more. You get a choice between Arkansas.
Nope.
Vanderbilt.
Nope.
Or Texas.
Nope. No.
You wouldn't pull for Arkansas right now with Felipe Franks?
No. I want Franks to break his other leg.
Felipe Pepew.
Felipe Lepew. I was hopeful that this year he would show up to the Florida Arkansas game at the Swamp, and our defense was going to bury him underneath the Swamp.
That ain't happening.
Now that's not happening. So I just hope that we eke out a win.
Okay. All right. So I got another one for you. How about
Jesus Christ?
How about I guarantee you that we can fire Grantham, but you have to take Jarrett Garantano as a quarterback for the rest of the season.
The hell would I want to do that for? I got Trask.
Package deal, man. You got to take it. Take it on. So fire Grantham.
Okay.
Or take Garantano and take Garantano or leave it like it is.
So I get Grantham out of Gainesville.
Yes.
All the defensive problems are solved.
All my defensive problems are solved, and all it costs me is putting Garen Dudu on the roster.
No.
Pretty much.
He has to be your starting quarterback. Rest of the season. No, because I still have Trask that maybe, just maybe, can outscore his own lack of defense. And then at the end of the year, I can fire Grantham anyway. Hey, between the edges, man, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, thanks for having me on, boys. You are welcome anytime, sir. Welcome anytime. Appreciate you for joining the channel.
It's raining here, for God's sake.
It's Florida. It happens there quite a bit, doesn't it?
It ain't raining where I am.
Well, actually tomorrow it's going to be high in the upper 70s tomorrow. So we're actually going to get a touch of this thing you guys call fall.
Yeah, that 70 degrees is perfect fall weather for Floridians.
I want a cold front so bad, dude.
I don't want it any colder, home slice.
I live in North Georgia.
That's why I live in Florida.
I live in North Georgia. We will get snow this year at some point. So
I lived in North Georgia. Well, is Kennesaw considered North Georgia?
I would say so.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well. I lived in Kennesaw for 10 years. I remember the big blizzard in '93.
Yeah, you've been around then.
Yeah, I'm right by Kennesaw myself.
Like we had lunch today, pretty close to Kennesaw, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I actually miss living in the metro for some reasons. I miss living there, but for most reasons, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has its good and bad. That's for sure.
I tried driving a stick shift car in that traffic.
Yeah, I do.
All you got to do is put it in fifth gear and put it on the floor. I don't know if it's changed since when you were here, but if you're
the
not
way
doing
mine is set up now, that would work actually. But
yeah,
when it was set up back then, that wouldn't have worked.
Well, like right now, it's 6 lanes wide and it's 80 mile an hour, bumper to bumper.
On what road?
All of them. I kid you not.
I don't remember 80.
It's not bad. Like it's not that bad right now because of COVID. So the traffic is
I bet it would be.
Yeah, the rush hour is not nearly as bad. It's still terrible.
So
I remember some fun that I had with some of my Mustang buddies. We would get together at about somewhere around where were we? Mount Perrin, just off of 75, just inside the perimeter. I think it was Mount Perrin, and we get together near there and wait till about 2 a.m, and then we would do bonsai runs through the connector.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're still doing crazy stuff like that nowadays.
They still do that.
They're starting to lock down on it.
Doing about 100 miles an hour around the Grady curb.
Mm-hmm.
That's livid.
Yeah, they just busted a whole bunch of guys out there on the Grady curve doing craziness.
And they didn't really patrol very much on the connector after midnight back then. So we had a lot of fun doing those runs. We used to say, okay, how quick can you get from Northside Drive? How fast can you get from Northside Drive to the Ford plant?
Yeah.
I never won. The best I ever did was I came in 3rd out of 10. I never won that race.
Well, I pay the extra money to have the Pete's Pass so that I can use the express lane. And I can tell you right now, there are plenty of times whenever you're doing 90 to 100 in that express lane.
Don't they call that the Cobb Coaster?
Pretty much.
I haven't been on it. They obviously didn't exist back then when I was there.
I got on it accidentally.
Did you get a ticket in the mail?
I did, bro. I did.
Yeah,
I was following GPS, man, and it like took me on this ramp, and I was like, man, I don't know this area. And the on ramp took me directly on to the express lane. It's like, why is that even a thing? Like, why do you have an on ramp that takes you onto the expressway?
But I understand that Florida Sun Pass will work in Georgia and vice versa. Peach Pass will work in Florida. So next time I come up there, I think I'm gonna do a run on the Cobb Coaster, see what it's like.
And here's the cool thing: it's the vast majority of it is 1 lane wide, so you can go as fast as you want to go.
Yeehaw!
There's never cops up there. I mean, I've been driving on it for 2.5 years now. I've never seen a cop on there. And you can absolutely roll. What's nice is when it makes you feel like a champ whenever you're on the expressway and it's bumper to bumper traffic down below, and you're like, this is just great. All right, guys. Well, it's 10:15 here. I'm going to jump off. It's been a long day for me. It started at.
I think I'm going to head over to Lou's and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, I'll probably check in too. But I appreciate you joining the show.
I appreciate you letting me on.
I'm going to send a letter in to help them fire grant them after the end of the year, but not until. Especially,
I don't care when it happens, as long as it happens. That's all I care.
I'm also going to put Garantano in the transfer portal and send him down there, and I'm going to send Kyle Trask to.
You guys would kill for Kyle Trask, and you know
it. Thanks for letting me on, Brett.
Oh, yeah, glad to have you guys. Thanks so much for joining the show, guys.
See you guys.
Have a good
night.
Hey, Brett, I wanted to go back before when you were talking about the that Auburn Arkansas spike call.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they made that call because, to me, I thought it was obvious that this was a backwards pass, but I guess they're actually considering the trajectory of the ball out of his hands towards the ground. And if that's the way they're going to actually police that call, I mean, they're going to have to break out a protractor, right? I mean, every time they spike the ball to the ground, there's a potential that he throws it backwards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always a forward pass. It could be straight down. It could be backwards. But they've always judged that because he's facing forward and throwing the ball into the ground. So the moment you turn around backwards and throw the ball into the ground,
you're facing backwards.
You're facing backwards, and that becomes a backwards pass, in my opinion. So the fact that you give him a pass that the ball went straight down means that every time you spike the ball facing forward, there needs to be a judgment on whether or not the ball went forward out of your hand, right?
Correct.
So, I mean,
if you throw it down back towards your own feet.
Exactly. You could actually do that. Yeah, and that probably happens a lot. When you go to spike it down, when you throw the football straight down, any kind of ball straight down, you have a propensity to throw it back towards yourself.
Well, the problem arose whenever it was initially fumbled, right?
Yeah.
So the moment it was fumbled, then you would have to recover the fumble, right? And then spike it. But at that point, that would be intentional grounding.
Exactly. Right.
So it should have been at the very least intentional grounding, and it should have been a 10-second runoff, which I believe is what it was. But when you look at that, he was not facing the offensive line when he spiked the ball. Mm-hmm. He was facing to the right.
Yeah, that's a backwards. That should have been a backwards pass all day long.
That should have been a backwards pass all day. Everybody knew it, and it didn't get reviewed properly. And I'm so incredibly sick and tired of these terrible calls, man. It's just terrible, and it's got to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying that I would do it, but referees already get like serious death threats. Like, you go out there and you do something like that costs somebody a ridiculous amount of money, living on the edge or whatever, somebody's going to get hurt. And again, I don't care if they're part-time or whatever. Yeah. You got to do a better job.
I mean, you watch college football across the board. I mean, there's countless plays this year that's just, and I know I get it because they're taught to kind of let the play develop. And so, like, you see a lot of calls that were obvious touchdown or whatever, but then they have to go review it to confirm it was a touchdown. And it's like, man, the play happened right in front of you. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just.
Well, the thing that gets me is that I can completely understand some of the calls when they're really close. Well, what me and you call bang bang plays. If it's bang bang and it's so, I mean, even in slow motion, it's really hard to tell. I can understand why a referee would make a mistake on the field. That's the reason we have the instant replay. But during the instant replay, unless it is targeting, you should take whatever time you need to get it right. Whenever you can stack 4, 5, 6 different camera angles all up here, and you can sync them to the same timeline, and you can turn one dial, and it will move it one frame at a time. Dude, there's no reason you should get these calls wrong. At least not blatant,
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to bail off here. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, same, bud.
All right, man. We'll catch you later. Thanks for joining the show, man.
Yes, sir. See y'all.
All right, guys. We really appreciate you guys jumping on. Those of you who stuck it out this long, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, all that wonderful stuff. We're gonna get the technical aspect of this stuff fixed, I hope. You guys have a great day. God bless. # keep Grantham. Go Dogs.